Welcome to this lecture on security control from resource access perspective. In this module, we'll look at different security control mechanisms that Oracle Cloud Infrastructure provides to restrict or limit access to different resources. So let's first look at what security lists provide for VCNs and subnets and resources that are provisioned within these subnets. So in this example, we see a virtual cloud network with a public subnet and a private subnet. There are some instances, compute instances deployed in the public subnet, which are web servers. And on the back end, we have database servers that are in a private subnet. We have an internet gateway providing access to the internet for these web servers. And then we have a firewall and security list rules. And there are some security list rules, as you can see, are provisioned here for ingress and egress. So a security list basically provides a virtual firewall, for instance, and you can specify ingress and egress rules that specify the type of traffic that is allowed in or out. Each security list is enforced at the instance level. You configure them at the subnet level, which means that all instances in a given subnet are subject to the same set of. Moreover, when you create a security list rule, you can specify if it's a stateful security list rule or a stateless. If you have a stateful security list rule, that indicates that you want to use connection tracking for any traffic that matches that rule. What that means is that when an instance receives traffic matching that stateful ingress rule, the response is tracked and automatically allowed back to the outgoing host. So regardless of any egress rule that is created, traffic will be allowed to go out. Same way, when an instance sends traffic that matches a stateful egress rule, the incoming response is automatically allowed, regardless of any ingress rule that is provisioned. On the other hand, if you add a stateless security list rule to a security list, that indicates that you do not want to use connection tracking for any traffic that matches that rule. So in this case, you will need to configure individual egress and ingress rule if you're using the stateless feature. So in this example, if we look at the security list rules that are provisioned for the public subnet and the private subnet, in case of the database subnet, they restrict connections from the web server subnet. And then security list for the web server subnet allows outgoing connections while restricting incoming connections. So here we can see how security list rules can help us restrict access to specific resources that are deployed in OCI. Next, let's look at our Web Access Firewall. So Web Access Firewall is designed to protect internet-facing web applications. It protects against any type of cyber attacks. There are over 250 predefined rules that are configured by default. And a user can add their own access control. And these access controls can be based on geolocation, whitelisted and blacklisted IP addresses, or HTTP URL and header characteristics. Now, in addition to this layer of protection, there is also bot management that provides a more advanced set of challenges. So challenges like CAPTCHA, device fingerprinting, human interaction algorithms are also provided when a web access firewall is used. So Web Access Firewall provides a very, very comprehensive protection against any kind of attacks for web-facing applications. So going a bit deeper on Web Access Firewall, here we can see we have a customer application and then a multiple layers of protection that a Web Access Firewall provides. So if we look at the first layer, which is the Web Application Firewall layer, it hides the origin server. In addition, it also inspects the traffic as it tries to access the server or when it's leaving the server. Now, what is the origin server? Origin server is a backend server to which Oracle Traffic Director forwards requests that it receives from clients and from which it receives responses to client requests. The origin server could be, for example, Oracle WebLogic server instance or Oracle iPlanet web server instances. So the next layer is the bot management. This is where Web Access Firewall helps to identify if a request that is coming in is from actually a human or a machine, and then it controls or blocks suspicious looking requests. And then on the top, we have the access control layer. You can restrict or even control access to critical web applications that are running as part of a solution that you have deployed in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So as we can see, there are multiple layers of security controls available in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, from ACLs to Web Access Firewall, multiple options within access control list, and then multiple layers of protection that is provided by Web Access Firewall. In the next lecture, we'll look at Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Security from visibility perspective.